Hello, hey, this is Clayton with Do-It-Yourself Log Worx. Today I'm going to be working on a piece of railing that's going on a lodge out towards Zion National Park. It's called Ponderosa Resort. The maintenance guy out there has extended the porch and they need to make the rail longer. This is the existing rail, or 4-inch top and a 4-inch bottom, a 2-inch spindle. And since I don't know what angle this is, I'm going to put it up on here. I'm guessing it's about 32 to 36 degrees. That's normal. So I'm going to set it right there on my miter saw. Now I've got the laser, and you can see that my line is off center a little bit, so I need to come back this way. Right there. That's 34 degrees. That's going pretty much straight down that spindle. So there's a couple of things I need to figure out here. I need to figure out the distance here, or I can just basically disassemble it, get the spindle length, because this has got to go back into some existing holes. And I've got to make a post at the bottom of the stairs as well as the rail. Okay, I found my post. It's a 5-inch dowed log. I'm going to have to cut it to length and then cut a miter at 34 degrees and make a saddle notch so it'll fit over the edge of the stringer. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Alright, I called the contractor. He told me that the post is going on the right side of the stringer. Notch needs to be on the left side so that it'll fit over the stringer. The contractor is using 2x12 stringers, so I'm going to make an 1.5-inch notch so that it will fit right over the edge of the stringer and dive into his post at the top. So I'm going to set this gauge right here on my chop saw so that the blade will only go so deep. And so I'll give myself a mark right here at 1.5 inches, because that's how deep I want my notch. So I'll come to here, I'll pull the chop saw down. It's a little tall, so you just set your stop right there. Now that's going to cut 1.5 inch miter. I determined that it's 34 degrees, so I'm going to set my miter at 34 right there. We're going to come down to here, and then I'm going to cut this. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take from here and from there, and I'm going to take that part out right there. I'm going to show you how I do that. When I start notching logs, I like to use this tool right here, the file in there, right there. And what that does is it keeps the log from rolling. So I'm going to go ahead and set that in there, and I'll show you how I make the notch on the saddle notch for the railing. Alright, I'm going to set my log in here, and it's crucial that the miter cut that I made needs to be level from the bottom to the top, because I'm going to take this part out. So I'm going to go ahead and eyeball it. I get pretty close right there, and then I'm going to take a framing square and put a mark at my 1.5 inches. So if you look right there, I've got it marked at 1.5 inches, because I'm going to make an 1.5 inch notch. And so now I'm going to cut the excess out with my DeWalt. So there you have a notch. And this is going to go on the outside of the tread on the right side of the porch. And then I will drill some angle holes that come out of here. Alright, I've determined that the angle on the rail is 34 degrees, so I need to set my drill press at 34 degrees so that I can drill the posts and then the rails. 33. Right there's 34 degrees. And I'm using a 2-inch spindle, but sometimes you have to rack it a little bit, so I like to drill my hole a 2 1/8 on an angle. That way you have a little bit of give if you need to fudge on the install. Alright, here's the post. I determined that the spindle length was 28 inches, so it's a rail that I built years ago, so that I know the program. I come 4 inches off of my notch up to my first hole, and then I go 28 inches to the second hole. The most important part is to keep your notch straight up and down. Otherwise the hole will be crooked and it won't install correctly. Drill all set. We're going to go ahead and drill the angle holes. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and leave the drill press set at 34 degrees because that's going to be the same angle as the top and bottom rail. So this post, I'm going to work it over. It'll look brand new when I'm done. Alright, so I figured out the spacing on all this. Got the bottom log marked. And since it's a 34 degree, that's the difference in the length of these. So I just butt this one up to it and mark the rest of them in line with my first mark. And so when I drill this on the angle, so this one is my bottom, so got to make sure the drill bit is going up on that one and down on that one. I'm going to tenon the ends first because you want to tenon it before you drill it. So this is a tenon cutter. People call them the pencil sharpener or tenon cutter or dialing machine, whatever you want to call it. I've got to make a 3-inch tenon, and so this piece of shaft right here determines how long of a tenon it's going to cut. And it's set at 2 inches right now, so I've got to loosen this, push it back an inch. Nope, actually take it out an inch. Let's measure, because I want a 3-inch tenon. You got to get your log in this clamp right here. Put it right inside the tenon cutter. And make sure it's good and tight, because it's going to, if the head catches, it's going to try to twist the log, and you don't want that because it'll put marks in it. So here we go. So there you have 3-inch long tenon by 2 inches in diameter. So there's my top rail. I'm going to go ahead and tenon the bottom rail. Next. All right, I've got my top and bottom rails marked out, so I'm going to drill them at the same degree as I drilled the post. And you can see the mark that I made up and down, so I'm good to go. Okay, now that I've got the top and bottom sanded, I'm going to sand this post. And this post has been out in the yard for a little while, so it's kind of got some gray to it, but I'm going to clean it up on this sander and hopefully make it look pretty much like new. All right, here's a moment of truth. Let's see if this rail fits together. Here's my top. I'll put it right here in my post. Put my first spindle in. There you go. Got us a rail. Okay, I'm here at Zion Ponderosa with Phil. Phil is the maintenance guy out here that ordered this rail, and he's already got it stained. Just got it yesterday, but I wanted to come out and show you exactly what it was because I didn't get any close-ups. Go ahead and get some close-ups, Kate, of the rail. We'll call it a wrap.
Turnaround.
That's good.
Told you one day how to connect, and I'm done with the project.